Christina, she goes out. So it's a battle between two players. Tens versus ace-7, Mike.
So Chemo well out in front with the two tens right now.
Anyone fold an ace?
Probably not, right?
No.
I don't think so.
Chemo Kirko, 30 years old. The Finn, will his tens hold up? We will see. Here we go.
So far, so good for Chemo. The two tens out in front.
King 9-3 on that flop.
Eliot Smith from Canada looking for an ace. King comes on the turn.
That is a bit of a sweat now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are down to the river.
Well, it's a 9 of hearts. Not going to do it for Eliot.
So the two tens are going to stand up. Chemo still alive.
Yes, Chemo Kirko, over $2 million in poker earnings. Quite a player. It's nicely done.
With that double up, it does not look like Chemo is going anywhere, and neither are we. When we return, find out what makes the Aviation Club special and spend some time with one of poker's power couples. It's all coming up, so stay tuned.
Are you looking for a fun, exciting place to play poker online? Then check out ClubWPT.com. Enjoy all the poker you want for free.
ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
I love poker because you are constantly forced to make decisions. Even when you're not playing your hand, you're studying your opponents. It's completely engaging.
I like to see flops. I like to get very aggressive when I need to. I like to exploit bad players and pick good spots against good players because it's not necessarily about just going to war every time against them.
I definitely feel the need to prove that I have what it takes to make it on the live scene. I grinded my ass off for 4 years. I played all the small buy-ins. I studied with all the best pros. I feel like I've earned this, and I'm ready for it.
My confidence level is not so high because low stack, but I'm gonna try to make something happen. If I became WPT champion, it would be dream of my life.
Ну, на данный момент просто, когда ты находишься чип-лидером и у тебя половина всех фишек, очень тяжело с моральной точки зрения, то есть все тебя просто ждут победы. Топ-1.
Winning a WPT title would be absolutely amazing. I couldn't even imagine it. Having a trophy like that hanging in my apartment would just be something that I could look at and smile every day of my life, so it'd be really special.
We are back here on the World Poker Tour on the Champs-Élysées, where the antes are going up to 3,000, and the blinds are now 10 and 20,000, Mike.
Well, there you see the chip counts of all the players. Vasily Firsal from Belarus, almost 3 million in chips, just a monstrous chip leader over all these other players.
Right back down on it, Peter Apostolu, the short stack, pair of eights, and he is going to shove them all in. Right behind him, Chemo Kirko with a queen 10, won't play. Eliot Smith also out.
Round to Christina Lindley. She is going out as well.
Chip leader also folding, but Mohsen with ace queen has made the quick call.
And he's in. And he's in.
The race situation, the two overcards versus the under pair.
Ace ball, door card.
The Australian needs the eights to stand up, or he'll be heading back down under.
Jack 7 king on the flop.
Sweat.
Always a sweat.
9 of clubs.
That's the ultimate sweat.
Well, gives him a straight draw. A 10 would help him now, as well as an ace or a queen.
7 of diamonds on the turn, no help from Mohsen.
Mohsen needs an ace, queen, or a 10 on the river to send the Australian back down under.
And it's not going to happen as a 5 of diamonds appears.
Can you believe it? Huh?
Well, Mohsen made this final table a year ago, finished 5th at that table when he couldn't win a flip. Didn't win it then, didn't win it now.
There's a lot of history behind that hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In this tournament?
History behind just in general.
Has it screwed you a lot, too?
What's that?
It's like screwed you over a lot, or
Nah,
it's done really well for you?
It's been great for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it's a good hand for you.
Now, Peter taking that pot, you know, he came here to Paris with his wife on holiday.
Well, it is an amazing story. His wife booked the tickets here because her parents were here on holiday, so she thought they would join him for a couple days. He found out there was the Aviation Club de France, came over here, played a super satellite, won his seat for $1,000 to get in this tournament, and here he is at the final table, just doubling up right there.
What a way to get away from the in-laws.
Stay alive. Oh, Vance.
All right back at him. Eliot Smith, who is a swim coach, is going to quickly fold the hand, and now Christina Lindley. Only been playing poker for 4 years, but what a player. She's got an ace-8, but decides not to call.
Over to the chip leader. Just looks down at a queen-7, but he can put pressure on these short stacks. Trying to do it right here. Raises it to 42,000.
Mohsen out, the Australian, the real estate man who just doubled up, also folding. And now it's down to Kimmo Kirkko from Finland. He's got ace-4.
Well, Kimmo on the short stack. 6th place with 6 players left. Knows that the chip leader can be raising with any 2 cards just to try to pick up pots.
Mike, he's won over $2 million in poker earnings. What a successful career. And he's going to go all in. He shoves it right there.
Well, Kimmo got into poker after watching the World Poker Tour on TV.
Look at this quick insta-call, though, by Vasily. We're going to see another showdown as they turn the cards up.
Well, Kimmo's the favorite to win this pot to double up. Must do it to stay alive.
Kimmo, 30 years old. What a moment right now. And we are flopping. It's a 9-10-3. That's good for Kimmo. Ace high still out in front.
Kimmo says his favorite players are Juha Helppi and Daniel Negreanu, both WPT champions. He'd like to join them.
4th Street about to appear. It's a 6 of hearts. That's also good for Kimmo. Ace high still in front.
Well, this gives Vasily a straight draw. He now needs a queen, a 7, or an 8 to win this pot.
Can he do it to knock out Kimmo? No, a king of clubs on the river.
So for the second time at this final table, Kimmo Kirkko has doubled up. Vince, the chip count is tightening. The short stacks are not going.
Oh, the croissants are getting buttered here in Paris. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action here on the World Poker Tour.
Season 12 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Welcome back to Paris and the WPT.
Now, Mike, we travel all over the world, the whole entire globe, and we go to some of the most interesting spots in the world, as you know.
Well, we sure do, Vince. But sometimes all this traveling takes a toll on one's body. You know, don't you just like to stay at home and relax sometimes?
Well, interesting that you should say that. You can actually play world-class poker right from the comfort of your own home at ClubWPT.com. You can just sit back, chill, watch some sports. You don't even have to take your robe off, Mike, if you don't want.
So check it out today, ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
And now the chip leader, Vasily Versau, 2.7 million in chips. Christina Linley, 887. 6 players remain. Action on Christina. She's one of our ones to watch here this year on the World Poker Tour. She's got a nothing hand, 5-3. She will fold.
Over to the chip leader. Vasily looks at King 9 of diamonds. And he pops it up, makes it 45,000 to go.
Mohsen quick fold, and now the Australian real estate man will make this call with the pair of 7s. On to the Finn, Kimmo. Won't play that. The swim coach, Eliot Smith from Canada, with a nothing hand, won't play as well. So two-way action, chip leader, the Russian, versus the Australian with the pair of 7s.
The flop is ace, 10, 6, all diamonds. And look at this. Vasily has flopped the best hand possible. The ace-high flush, the king-high flush for him. Incredible. He has flopped the joint and bets out 45,000.
He makes the small little continuation bet to try to induce a possible raise.
He's getting the min raise out of the Australian. Just a weird raise with that kind of flop. Doesn't even have the 7 of diamonds.
All in.
He goes all in. Figured if the guy raised it, he'll call the re-raise of all in. But as you can see, the Australian swims away, and Vasily grimaces there. Obviously not happy with that raise. And Vince, I think he should have just called there, checked on the turn, and hoped the Australian just shoots himself in the foot.
Absolutely. He played it so nicely, and then it blew up before his very eyes with too aggressive of a move. That is a mistake.
Very strange that he didn't raise before the flop with 2 7s, then raised on that flop. But here we go again. Vasily this time picks up ace high. Why not raise it again? He does so.
Yep, but right behind him, Mohsen.
All in.
This time he says all in with the ace-queen. Not going to monkey around. Peter out. Chemo. Also out. Swim coach out.
Over to Christina. She says, please let me pick up a monster just one time.
That's no monster. That's a mess.
She goes out.
And now Vasily.
Well, it lays down the ace high without thinking about it. Just does not want to double up this guy, Mohsen, who was at this final table a year ago. Certainly a phenomenal player.
Oh, yeah, Mohsen Terrania, his 11th WPT cash. Third final table. He is very impressive.
And Vasily still way out in front with over 50% of the chips in play. Now Chemo sitting on the short stack at this table.
I would rather take title than money, but of course money is great.
They just keep dealing out these ace queens, and this time he makes it 42,000 to go. Eliot Smith out, Christina. Also out. Now Vasily has a real hand, though. He has picked up jacks.
He is just staring over at Chemo.
All in.
And he's going to shove all in.
Now, Mohsen going out.
The Australian also not going to play. Back on Chemo. He's got a pretty big hand for a guy that's on a short stack.
Well, basically unfoldable here, I think.
So you had like 460.
I have 425.
Well, what he's doing is counting everybody else's chips to seeing should he try to hang on here and move up in prize money. But Chemo himself said he doesn't even care about the money nearly as much as the title. That's what's important to him. He's going for it right here. Makes the call with the ace-queen. He's in a race. Must win it. He's doubled up twice so far on his all-in bets at this table. Will it happen a third time? If not, he's heading back to Finland.
Oh, that's right. The Finn is in, and we are flopping. It's a 6-5-7. No help for the Finn. Vasily with his jack. Safe at this moment. Going to the turn, Mike.
Well, a 10 on the turn, so we are down to the river. Chemo Kirko from Finland must catch an ace or a queen on the river to stay alive.
He's made millions playing poker. A fine player, but right now he needs a river card to protect him. A king of spades. It's not going to happen for Chemo. He is out in 6th place.
Well, Vince, he came to this final table on the extreme short stack, doubled up a couple times, but still lost the race there to be eliminated in 6th place.
So Chemo Kirko going to take home 65,000 euros. Let's go see what he has to say.
Yeah, I had so low stacks, so I had to push on fast. So I got 2 double ups, but then lost quite a big flip. That's it.
So, poof, we are down to 5 players at the Aviation Club de France. We're coming back with more action here on the World Poker Tour. This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by DraftKings. If you like poker and sports, then you're going to love daily fantasy sports at DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com, enter promo code WPT, and start playing today.
The thing I love most about playing poker is being able to travel to Paris and explore the world.
This Aviation Club is by far the best poker location because you can walk out and get an amazing dinner, you can walk out and go shopping, you can stay in the heart of Paris, all kinds of attractions to see.
There's a lot of history playing at the Aviation Club. It's just right on the Champs-Elysees, the most beautiful street probably in the world. It's an exciting place to play poker.
We are back here on the World Poker Tour. 5 players remain. Vasily Fursau is the chip leader with 3.3 million in chips.
Well, Vince, I agree with all those players that think the Aviation Club is the best location for a poker room in the world, smack dab in the middle of the Champs-Elysees.
It has a lot of class. Right now, 5 players battle. Mohsen with a quick fold. And now the Australian, Peter Apostolu, is going to raise with King Jack. Makes it 42,000 to go.
Eliot goes out. Action on Christina. She looks down at a nothing Jack 3. Oh, but look at this, Vince. She is capping her cards. That is usually a sign that a player is going to play the pot. Is she really going to play this junk after the pot's been raised in front of her?
Well, she is considering this.
He's reaching for raisin chips.
She's got to make it 2:25 to go. Going for the bluff.
Now she has put pressure right on Peter here. What does he do now? He gets out of the way. He gives her respect. And Vince, take your hat off and salute Christina for how aggressive she played that hand.
Christina Lindley bluffing everybody.
One hand an hour bluffing.
In the hallway, they're talking about how much you bluff.
Who's that?
Everybody. Even the production crew was like, God, what a bluff.
Yeah, right.
And there you see her boyfriend David rooting her on.
To be honest, I don't think I could date someone who didn't play poker, just because the lifestyle is so unique and you're on the road all the time. It makes it way more fun traveling the world when you have somebody to do it with, competing at the highest level for tons of money. There's definitely a built-in mutual support. Dating a poker player, you just feel like you're loved and supported no matter what happens. David made the final table at Borgata, and I was railing him, so it's fun to have him be railing me for once.
Well, pretty impressive that a boyfriend and girlfriend make back-to-back final tables out here on the World Poker Tour.
Yeah, David Randall, quite a player. In the audience tonight. Let's go back down to the felt here. The money pit in Paris. The quick fold by the man from Australia.
And a Canadian out as well.
Around to Christina. She's got a good feel for the table at this moment.
I forget your fish stacks. What are they?
433 total.
Now she's going to raise on the button with the ace high.
Yeah, makes it 40,000 to go. Vasily, our chip leader, out, but Mohsen, he's got ace 10 of diamonds, and he's made the quick call.
The second time we've seen him call with this hand. He doesn't three better with it.
Jack, 7.
Oh, but he's flopped
6.
a nut flush draw. He is going to check. Now, Christina has the best hand with 2 6s. Looks like she's going to make a continuation bet, but for sure this is going to get check raised.
All in.
Exactly what you said, Mike.
Going to put pressure right on her now. She just got bottom pair. Do you really want to double up this tough a player or take a chance on it with just bottom pair? I don't think so.
Mohsen Terrania, third time at the WPT final table, is going to make this one work with the all-in bet.
Yeah, Mohsen.
There are 2 rounders in the audience. That's the great Jason Kuhn and Athanasios Polykonopoulos.
And those guys are wearing those wigs because last night the WPT had a disco-themed players party. Obviously, those guys still partying.
Do you beat a pair?
Could be the pair.
Really? Not a pair.
Could be a pair of 7s.
The action is starting to get more intense here in Paris. Stay tuned, we'll be right back from the Aviation Club de France.
Welcome back to the beautiful Aviation Club de France and the WPT Grand Prix de Paris.
Mike, we have 5 players remaining. Exciting action going on here on the Champs-Élysées at the Aviation Club de France. Let's go check the chip count and get back down to the table.
Well, there you see the chip count. Vasily Firsal from Belarus well out in front with over 3.3 million in chips. Over 4 times as many chips as the person in second place, which is Christina. You just don't see that often with 5 players left in a tournament.
All right, down to the table we go. A quick fold by the Canadian Eliot. And now Christina Lindley. She will throw away a queen 10 onto the chip leader.
And looks down to 9-7 of diamonds. There he's getting out some raisin chips. And he makes it 40,000 to go.
Into Mohsen, who has a big hand, ace-king.
We know he's going to raise it. Just a matter of how much he's going to raise it.
Mohsen Terrania, his 3rd time at a final table on the World Poker Tour. Has not taken down the title yet, but right now, he'd just like to take this hand. He makes a raise, goes to 130 to go.
Now Peter goes out, and without hesitation, Vasily goes out, and it's surprising to me. It cost him 90,000 to call, but he's in position, could see a flop. He just opted to fold, just doesn't want to tango with Mohsen, who he gives a lot of respect to.
What do you have now? Like 6?
Well, that's a good point. He would have gotten a lot of value by the call, but he elects not to, and we move on.
I don't know why.
Into Christina. She goes out. Vasily taking a break.
Exactly.
And Mohsen going out as well, so
Cool.
like the battle of the blinds here.
The Australian with ace-3 just calling. And now the swim coach from Canada, tough poker pro Eliot Smith with a real hand pair of 9s.
Very surprising that you wouldn't raise with ace-high out of the small blind. Eliot, of course,
All in.
is going all in here now.
And he is going to put the pressure on the real estate guy from Australia.
Vince, this guy would raise with a queen-jack in this situation because you're not going to put your opponent on an ace when he didn't raise pre-flop out of the small blind.
That's such a weak play.
Peter won't play.
So the Canadian takes down that pot. Eliot Smith, 26-year-old poker pro out of British Columbia, Canada. The Canadians have done very well out here on the World Poker Tour over the years. Over a dozen have won WPT championships, and 2 of them were WPT Players of the Year. That was Daniel Negreanu in Season 3 and Gavin Smith in Season 4. Eliot Smith looking to join those WPT champions if he wins this tournament.
He's got over $1 million in earnings in poker. What a player. Eliot Smith from Canada doing quite well here tonight.
Now folded around to Mohsen, who looks down at ace-9 of spade.
And Mohsen will raise with that hand, makes it 42,000. But the Australian right behind him with ace-jack
All in.
decides to push all in.
Well, he's on the extreme short stack. Got about half as many chips as Mohsen does, but you pick up an ace-jack in that spot on the short stack, you're going to ship it.
Eliot out as well as Christina. So back on Mohsen, he's got a decision to make.
He knows he won't be out if he loses the pot, but he'll be in 5th place, though. But he's making the call. He's gambling here.
Oh, you're good.
You see him wince. Does not like seeing that hand, as he is dominated, as we say, ace-jack versus ace-9.
Peter Apostolu from Australia. Gotta love his position at this point. And look at this flop. 2 aces already with a queen of hearts.
Not a bad flop for Mohsen because he can get a split out of this pot if a king or a queen comes up.
Queen ball?
That's pretty good start though for a child.
Queen? 9?
As the cards lie, the Australian in good shape right now.
Very happy for people with 3 outs. 9 ball.
Turn card. What will it be? It's a 7 of spades.
7?
Peter still out in front.
So a king, queen, or 7 would get Mohsen a split. A 9 would get him the W.
7, 9, king.
Deuce.
Ace for a misdeal.
Down to the river. What will it be? It's an 8 of hearts.
Ooh, that was close.
Peter Apostolu doubling up yet again at this final table. The dream lives on for the amateur.
We hung in there.
From Australia.
The man came here on a holiday with his wife to hang out with the in-laws, but better things have happened.
Well, Vince, if Peter wins this tournament, one thing's for sure, the wife is going to be booking more holidays.
I'm going to see what you pushed me with the hand before. It was a massive foul.
With Peter Apostolu doubling up, we end our first hour of coverage from the Grand Prix de Paris. Mike and Vince, what are your thoughts on the play we've seen so far?
Well, Lynn, no big surprises here at the final table so far. The guy that came in on the short stack went out in 6th place. The guy who came to the final table as the big chip leader, still the big chip leader. If there's a surprise, it might be that Terrania, the guy many expected to contend and do well here, is now sitting in last place in 5th chip position. But right now, you got to say that is the man. He's the king with all the chips. He's going to be the guy.
Yeah, but you talk about luck. How about Mr. Holiday, Peter Apostolu from Australia? Things are going his way. He came here on and a poker game broke out, and he's doing quite well, wide open.
It sure will be interesting to see who takes a stand against Lee. Please join us next time for continuing coverage of the WPT Grand Prix de Paris. For Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, the Flash Girls, and everyone at the World Poker Tour, I'm Lynn Gilmartin. See you next time on the WPT.
I don't understand what this is for. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by WPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
In the City of Lights, 5 players remain. Only one will shine as our battle to crown the next WPT champion wages on. Continuing coverage of the Season 12 Grand Prix de Paris happens tonight on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing. He is circling the drain. They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring. He needs the extreme miracle.
Good evening and welcome to the Aviation Club de France and the World Poker Tour. I'm Lynn Gilmartin. Held in one of the world's most beloved cities, the WPT Grand Prix de Paris is a favourite stop on the tour and one that is rich in history. Over the past 12 seasons, we have seen great victories at some of the most exciting final tables.
I had the heart and the commitment to this game to win the spot.
And tonight, we have a very talented international mix of players, all looking to become the next WPT champion. It's time to turn to WPT's very own Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten to get us ready for tonight's action. So guys, with 5 players left, who should we be keeping a close eye on when play starts back up?
Well, Lynn, you can't help but keep your eyes on the chip leader, Vasily Firsov from Belarus, because this guy's got 60% of the chips in play. It's an astronomical chip lead with 5 players left in a poker tournament, but we got a tough international field of players that are going up against him to try to take down this title, including WPT wins to watch Christina Lindley, as well as a tough Canadian pro, Eliot Smith, as well as Mohsen Terrania, who finished 5th in this tournament last year. He's back again, but Vince, I can't help but think, the guy from Belarus, how are you going to overcome a chip lead like that?
Well, let's talk about Mr. Holiday, though. Peter Apostolu from Australia, who came here because his wife said, honey, we're going to Paris for a little vacation for a holiday, and the poker game broke out. I mean, he is getting lucky. He's happy-go-lucky. Great things are happening right now for him in Paris.
And I can't help but root for a fellow Aussie, so let's see if he can make a run. Cards are about to get back in the air, so let's get down to the felt.
Well, there you see the chip counts. Vasily Firsov from Belarus well out in front, over 60% of the chips. That is just unheard of in a 5-handed poker game.
Right now, the antes are 3,000. Blinds are 10 and 20,000 here in Paris. Let's go to the felt. Christina Lindley picks up ace-9 in first position. But she's not going to play it. Very interesting. Our chip leader also folding. And now it's on to the short stack. Mohsen.
252. 252.
Got ace-7 of clubs. Will make it 252,000 all in. Into the Australian. Peter Apostolu, who's into real estate in Australia, came here on a holiday. He's got ace-4. There's mad Marvin Rettenmeier. Interesting hair.
And he's wearing that wig from the WPT Players Party. It was a disco-themed night. Obviously, Mad Marvin and a few other players still partying from last night.
Peter out, and now the swim coach, professional poker player Eliot Smith with a king-9. Can't take the pressure, so...
At a club.
Nice work by Mohsen Terrania.
A club.
Well, he shows him the teaser card, the 7.
Third time at the final table on a World Poker Tour event. Has not taken a title yet. He's only 28 years old, out of Chicago. But he is a feared poker player, Mike.
He sure is. That's what they're playing for tonight. 340,000 euros, approximately $500,000 to the winner tonight.
Right back at him here on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. On the chip leader, the Russian won't play this hand, and now Mohsen with an ace-deucey. Can't call.
Peter out as well.
And the swim coach, Eliot Smith from Canada, looks at, well, an attractive little suited connector, 6-7 of hearts.
I got to tell you, he looks more Australian than he does Canada to me, because swimming's their biggest sport down there. He's the swim coach. He's got the look. But the guy's from Canada.
It happens. And he's going to raise it. Try to knock Christina out of the big blind.
Well, earlier at this final table, we saw Christina make a 3-bet with a Jack-3. That was a wowing bet. She took down that pot. Will she do it again? Nope, not this time. Opts to lay it down, give it up.
Nicely done by Eliot Smith, the student out of Canada.
Eliot Elliot's a great guy, actually. Yeah, a really nice bloke. He's always having a bit of a laugh.
All right, I'll take it.
Elliot's funny. He looks like Thor. He's like a big guy. There was a couple times when he was squished between us, he was knocking stuff over a little bit like a bull in a china store.
Eliot loves to talk at the table. He also likes to take his sweet time, and that can definitely bother some players.
He had a really big hand against Marvin Rettenmeier on the money bubble, where he actually had the clock called on him.
We'll try doing this spot. My table image is probably this guy likes to look at me a lot. Maybe sometimes that might make people a little uncomfortable, but for the most part, I'm usually pretty relaxed and fun at the table.
Well, he should be relaxed. This man has won over $1 million in poker. He's playing well here tonight. The swim coach, the poker player. Well, there you see the graph, and you can see that Vasily has 60% of the chips in play. Very impressive.
It really is just an astronomical chip lead with 5 players left.
A 15
Right back on our ones to watch, Christina Lindley. She was out in Hollywood as a model and an actress. But she's going to fold it. Vasily not going to play as well. Into Mohsen, who has an ace-6, short stacked. And he is going to go to 42,000. The Australian goes out.
Well, over to Eliot.
What did you start with?
288.
Now, he knows Mohsen's a very aggressive player. Could raise with anything on the button. And Eliot looks like he is going to, well, he doesn't go all in, but he sets Mohsen all in. That's what's important here.
You got it.
With just the ace-5, and Mohsen gives it up. Now, Mohsen laying down the ace-6, a little cautious here, but you can't blame him because nothing went right for him at this final table here last year.
I call.
Oh, Mohsen picked up a pair of jacks.
Do you think you're going to win? I don't think anything. I think there'll be 5 cards on the board.
Right now, Mohsen out in front with the jacks. Will they stand up?
5, and an ace just like that for Timothy.
Mohsen knows he needs to catch a jack or 2 running diamonds to win this pot.
On to the next hand, Mohsen with an ace-queen. Under Theo Jorgensen, who has a very solid pair of 10s.
I'm all in.
Whoa, he's gone all in.
Call.
And a quick call by Mohsen.
So here we go, the classic race situation.
Look.
Oh, you said it first. I can't beat that.
You just
Congrats.
jinxed it back the other way.
Yeah,
Oh, Theo's gonna love to race with that flop.
that's an amazing flop.
He's flopped a full house.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that's it. 10's full, just like that.
Well, it's a 4 hearts. That's gonna do it for Mohsen in this pot.
All in.
And look at this. Mohsen is going all in with a king-queen. He's on the short stack. Salzburg right behind him with ace-jack of hearts. Has made the call.
He's gonna have to have some help here to stay alive.
No help there. 10-4 deuce.
Doesn't happen on the turn as the 10 comes off.
As a 5 of diamonds appears on the river, Mohsen is knocked out. All right. And with that last hand, the Andes are going up to 3,000. Blinds now 12 and 24. Getting expensive here at the Aviation Club de France. A quick fold by Mohsen.
Peter out as well.
Eliot Smith, 26-year-old swim coach with an ace-7.
He was very conservative early on at this final table, getting pretty aggressive nowadays. Here he looks at the ace-7. He's going to raise it up.
Makes it 50,000 to go. Christina out.
All in.
Vasily, but he says all in. I'll put you all in, Eliot.
All in.
He doesn't speak much English, but he knows how to say all in and raise, that's for sure.
This is big pressure. And Vasily sort of mumbling to himself. What do you think he's saying to himself? You can't hear him.
Well, a good lay down there by Eliot.
What do you sing when you're all in?
The all-in song.
I mean, I see you mouthing something. I'm just curious. What is it?
Good card.
You just mouth good cards?
Yeah, best hand.
Okay.
You don't know the all-in song?
You read me?
No, when you're all in, you always sing. Like, you move your mouth like you're singing. I'm just curious what you're saying.
I don't understand.
He prays.
Sorry.
He prays. He just says good hand, I think. I don't know. I think it's Russian for good hand, right? No comment?
No comment. I understand no comment.
Vasily's great. He's like the Russian bad guy in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. He's ruthless, puts a lot of pressure on the table. He likes to be the alpha male, which I do too, which is kind of funny because I'm a girl. If I get heads up with him, I think that'll be a really fun battle.
It certainly would be. She's played impeccably tonight, mixing up her game beautifully, demanding respect. But back to this hand. Quick fold by the real estate man and the swim coach.
Over to Christina. Here she looks at a Jack-8 offsuit.
Releases the hand, and Vasily.
Well, Vasily going all in again.
Mohsen's got him beat, actually, but
I haven't not folded yet.
hard to call that when you have a queen deuce. Vasily taking control here once again. Vasily married with 2 kids, 36 years old. What an opportunity to take home a WPT title and get his name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup.
His second WPT cash, but he's looking to become the first player ever from Belarus to win a WPT title.
On to the next hand, Eliot Smith, the Canadian, with an 8-7. But look at this, he's going to get fancy. Makes it 50,000 with that junk hand.
Check the hand.
Christina with ace-king.
All in.
She has pushed all in. Vasily has done it. He's picked up the hand. When you want to pick up a hand, he's got the weapons of mass destruction, the pair of aces.
Really tough luck for Christina here.
I call.
And he says just call, of course, because he knows he has them covered.
I'm going to pass.
Mohsen out.
Well, everybody's going out.
Oh, wow.
Christina cannot believe her luck.
Wow.
She's picked up such a big hand, and all of a sudden,
2 kings, 1 time.
Vasily picks up aces.
With ace.
Huh?
King, ace.
King, king, 2.
She needs a miracle.
You'll take queen jack 10 off clubs.
Yeah. Queen jack 10 of clubs will work.
She has been cold decked right here.
And Ben, she has really played excellent poker so far tonight. And everybody would move in with this hand when someone raised in front of you.
Flop comes up queen, queen 4. No help for Christina.
Well, she's going to have a jack 10 or running pair of kings to win this pot, Vince. Nothing else will do.
What a predicament. Vasily loving this moment. Here goes the turn. It's another queen.
Queen and chop.
Oh, boy. She's got 1 out to chop.
Well, she doesn't really because Mohsen folded a queen.
Oh, that's
She's
right.
drawing dead. She is going to be our 5th place finisher. So the lone lady at the table, unlucky, picks up ace-king, runs into 2 aces.
Au revoir for Christina, out in 5th place, but she will take home 82,000. A very tough American player has to say goodbye here on the Champs-Elysees. Let's see what she has to say about it.
Vasily has been coolering the shit out of everyone all tournament, so it just kind of feels like it's meant to be his tournament. I don't know. I got coolered pretty bad, 5-handed with ace, king, aces. I have no regrets, and I feel really good about my play. I'll be back for Montreal, and hopefully next time when I get in the spot, you know, I'll run a little hotter.
So Christina Lindley ends an impressive run with her 2nd cash this season. Unfortunately, she will be leaving us. But we'll be back with a look at some of the fun the Royal Flush girls have been having here in Paris.
We love Paris! Santé! We love Paris! Welcome back to Paris and the WPT.
Well, there you see the chip counts. Vasily Firsau from Belarus, well out in front with over 4.2 million in chips. The guy has never come close to relinquishing the chip lead.
Pretty incredible. Down to it we go. The poker pro, swim coach Eliot folding his hand. Vasily now. He's got king 7 with the button. Likes it, goes to 51,000.
And just continuing to put pressure on these guys.
Mohsen out, and now Peter, the real estate guy from Australia. He's got ace-6 of spades, and he is going to just call.
He is in second chip position right now, even though it's a distant second.
Flop is a 5 king deuce. Hits his kings. Peter checks.
Oh, I like this check by Vasily. I like if an ace doesn't come up, that is.
Queen of clubs on the turn. Doesn't help Peter, and now Vasily trying to play sneaky finally has to make a bet, and it's going to work. Doesn't really hook his man, though.
I think Peter played that pot because he's sitting in second chip position ahead of the other two guys. Just doesn't want to give away chips on a marginal hand here with this chip count as it is.
Right now it's on Mohsen, the short stack.
204,000.
So Mohsen going all in here.
Peter and Eliot out.
And Vasily has the jack-6, even though he's got the monster chip lead. He's in the big blind.
No, even he can't call that with that hand.
Let's go.
Now look at that freak show here in Paris. Now we had a great party last night, a 70s party on the World Poker Tour, and so everyone had wigs on and they just forgot to take them off, evidently.
Well, it was a disco-themed party. These guys are still discoing at Vince. They're still partying.
It was a lot of fun. And now 4 players left. Eliot now with a quick fold. Vasily also out. Mohsen.
222,000.
And he is putting it in.
Yeah, cool.
But a quick call with a pair of 6s by Peter.
Mohsen happy to see the 2 6s where he's in a race. About as good as they could be expected when the guy made a snap call like that.
I gotta eventually win a flip at these final tables.
He says, I'm due to win a flip.
There goes Mohsen. He's running over the last season's champion, Matt Salzberg's girlfriend, Renee, thinking she was lucky for Matt. Maybe she'll be lucky for him.
Come on, Garcia.
Big moment here for Mohsen. And the flop is...
That's not good.
Well, 3 hearts on the flop,
That's pretty good so far.
meaning any heart
9 of hearts.
would give Mohsen a flush.
Now you would think the 6s are still out in front, but actually not, percentage-wise. So many out for Mohsen. Going to the turn.
Mohsen, the mathematical favorite to win, and the king is going to put him a monster favorite.
1 out.
1 out.
The Australian has to catch a 6 on the river. Otherwise, Mohsen is going to double up.
I'll take the deuce of hearts.
He'll take anything but the 6 of clubs.
Mohsen hitting on the turn, down to the river. There's a jack of diamonds. So Peter's going to pay off Mohsen.
222.
Mohsen from Chicago, 28 years old. What a talented player we're watching here tonight.
Yeah, he's got some big-time players in the stands watching him tonight as well.
There's mad Marvin Rettenmeier. And I'm not going to go for the name again, but he's another good pro with the crazy wigs on. Jason Kuhn.
Well, that's Jason Kuhn. Finished 13th in this tournament. Mad Marvin Rettenmeier finished 10th. Those guys could have been at this final table, but didn't quite make it.
All right, right back on it. Vasily this time. Oh, wow, he's picked up the real hand. Pair of jacks.
He's picked up a lot of real hands.
Ooh-wee. He's going to make it 51,000, hoping to hook someone in here. Mohsen folding. Now Peter also going to fold. On to the swim coach, Eliot.
All in.
And he is going to push all in with his ace high.
Takes. Nice hand.
The snap call by Vasily.
Wow. Wow. I really thought I was. That's too bad.
Well, everybody says wow, because every time they look up, seems like Vasily has a big hand.
Solidly favored to knock out the Canadian. 5 cards to come. Here we go with the first 3. Deuce. Oh, another jack. 3 of a kind, just like that, and an 8 of clubs.
Well, this pot's over.
Yeah.
There's no 2 cards that the Canadian can catch to win this pot, Vince, and you don't see that very often at all.
Yeah.
When you can catch 2 runners and you still can't win.
Queen of spades on the turn. Just doesn't matter. Another queen. So the Canadian, the former swim coach, Eliot Smith, does the duck dive out of here in Paris in 4th place. Going to take home 109,000 euros. Let's go see what he has to say.
Feels pretty good to make a final table.
I mean, you can't be happy with the last hand. I ran into something big and was drawing dead on the flop, but, you know, that's poker. Vasily does have an overwhelmingly big chip advantage, so Mo and Peter are both great guys, so, like, you know, yeah, it'd be like something amazing if one of those two guys ran it back and won, so it'd be really something else.
We're down to 3 players, and it's time to take a quick break. Stick around to see if Eliot Smith's hunch is right and if Peter or Mohsen can make a dent in our monster chip leader Vasily's stack.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by DraftKings. If you like poker and sports, then you're going to love daily fantasy sports at DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com, enter promo code WPT, and start playing today. Welcome back to Paris and the Aviation Club de France. Now, Mike, we travel all over the world on the World Poker Tour, and we go to some fantastic stops, and so have our ClubWPT.com VIP members.
Well, that's right, Vince. Many of our Club WPT VIP members have earned their seat to play in WPT main events, not only in the U.S., but in places like Montreal, Canada, Venice, Italy, and right here in Paris.
And not only did they mix it up on the green felt, but they also had the travel opportunity of a lifetime. So, if you want a chance to win a seat to a WPT event, check out Club WPT today. You'll be glad you did.
ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Maybe Jack.
And there, Vasily Fursau,
What a range.
4.6 million, the man from Belarus, in command here tonight.
Oh, just incredible. More than 10 times the amount of chips of either of the other two players. The man from Belarus is the man to beat right now.
Mohsen with the quick fold. Now Peter has picked up a pair of 6s. He just got burned with them against Mohsen. Oh, but that's not going to stop him from raising.
It's at 60,000 to go and going to pick up the pot. Yes, you know where Belarus is?
Yes, it's in Russia, my friend.
Well, it used to be part of Russia. Now it's its own country.
Oh, don't go get technical on me, Mr. Smarty Alec. All right, let's go down to the next hand. Mohsen, this time with Jack 10. Makes it 50,000. And Peter?
150.
Wow, with ace deuce opening up his game, makes it 150. Vasily out.
How much behind?
About the same amount, man.
And Mohsen's going to lay it down, so a nice 3-bet there by the Australian.
I never know what to do there with kings.
Came here on a holiday with his wife, discovered the Aviation Club, played a $1,000 satellite, and here he is.
My name's Peter Apostolu. I'm from Sydney, Australia. I don't know what I'm doing in Paris, to tell you the truth. My wife and I were on our way to America, and her parents were here on holiday, and she decided to stop in at Paris, and here I am. Yeah, I mean, I've had the time of my life. I've met some amazing people. Like, it's been a great ride, and every day is just getting better and better.
Now look at the wife taking pictures there, Vince, of the hubby. Why not? They're on a 3-month vacation, and they're going to come home with more money than they left with.
That is a great point. It's the dream come true.
Well, it's on Vasily. He's moving all in here for 400,000. When I say moving all in, he's setting them all in, I should say. But they go out. He adds the blinds and antes to his chip count, which is massive. The man from Belarus is the man to beat right now, for sure.
All in.
Well, look at this. Mohsen picking up king, queen of diamonds, says all in. Can he get paid off, Peter, with a nothing hand? Must fold it. But Vasily also with a junk hand. And he will give it up to Mohsen.
Well, there's Mohsen's girlfriend, Sasha. And Vince, she still got her party hat on from last night as well.
Well, that's the great thing about the World Poker Tour. We do have great players' parties, and we have a good time out here.
That's nice. When you go busted out of a tournament, you go to a party where somebody else picks up the tab.
Get a free wig, get a free hat, perhaps.
I'm surprised any of these people even know what the disco era was, Vince. They're so young.
I'm all in.
Look at this. The Australian has gone all in with his ace-queen of diamonds.
Okay.
Vasily has folded.
Uh-oh, could be big trouble for Mohsen here.
Oh, wow. It is possible to call this. But no.
Close.
What a laydown. That is good feel, folks, I can tell you, to get away from that hand in a three-handed poker game.
I think if this fold I'm all in, you call?
Yeah, snap call. Ace 10. You call ace 10?
You fold ace 10?
I don't think he's shoving worse. No fold?
I call.
You call? You can call.
We see stack, I call.
Well, Vasily and Mohsen have a lot to say about that hand, and I'm sure Tony Dunst does too. The raw deal is coming up, so stay tuned. We are back at the Aviation Club de France in the heart of Paris. Before the break, Mohsen and Vasily were deep in discussion, and standing by in the control room is Tony Dunst to chime in this edition of The Raw Deal.
It's pretty obvious that to have consistent success at tournaments, you need to know how to maneuver a short stack. Playing a 10 to 20 big blind stack can be boring and thrilling at the same time. Boring because you have very few options available to you, but thrilling because you're always just one raise away from all in. But if most of our decisions on a short stack revolve around going all in, then where are edges created against opponents? Let's break it down. Mohsen Terrania is one of the regulars I played against for years in online tournaments. Short stack play is an aspect of poker that Mohsen is very comfortable with. He walks the tightrope of shoving often when he's short, but finding room to min-raise and fold when his stack is just a little deeper. We saw Mohsen move all in pre-flop between 10 and 16 bigs.
252, 222,400.
With three hands that aren't asking to be called. Ace 7, King 9, and even King Queen suited, which seems surprising until you remember that for all its sex appeal, King Queen suited is still an underdog if the money goes in against Ace Rag. Conversely, Mohsen also found spots to min-raise, fold, and stay alive. He even ends up folding the best hand when he min-raises and folds Ace 6 against Eliot Smith.
You got it.
But it's likely that against Eliot's range, and with the real money consequences of busting out next, the fold is correct. And while Mohsen can sense when to gas and when to break, his opponents aren't all as comfortable on a short stack. Australian Peter Apostolu saw his stack dwindle from 5-handed to 3, and now he's in the same situation as Mohsen. But notice that when Peter finds ace-queen on the button with 20 bigs,
I'm all in.
he moves all in and allows two strong hands in the blinds to fold without giving him action.
Close.
I would have liked his shove under 15 bigs, but when he's that deep, he wants to encourage action as much as possible with his strongest hands.
You fold ace 10?
I don't think he's shoving worse.
It's important to remember that you can win the hand and lose value at the same time. Professionals like Mohsen are always conscious of how to push small edges with their hands, even if that means taking the higher variance route. Situations like these inspire plenty of debate among professionals, who sometimes forget that the guy they played the hand against is still sitting across the table from them.
Now, some excellent points about short stack play by Tony Dunst right there.
And right now, Vasily Fursau is the chip leader. Can he close on these other two guys?
What did you say you folded?
I had ace 10.
You had ace 10?
Any good?
You know it's going to be on TV, right?
Action on Vasily.
Well, they're still talking about that hand.
And look at this. He's going to lay down queen 10 with the button. Take a breather.
That Mohsen folded the ace 10. Neither one of those other guys can believe it.
Cool.
Mohsen just calling with 10-7. And with an ace high, Peter not going to raise. Kind of surprising.
I would have just moved all in with the ace high there when the guy limps in, but see what happens.
Flop is a 3-5 king, so 5s for Peter. Mohsen checking. And Peter's going to check behind him. Going to the turn.
9 comes off, but it's 3 hearts.
Neither player has a heart. They both check again. Down to the river we go.
And now the board pairs kings. Now Mohsen feels the only way he can win this pot is to bet at it, but unfortunately for him, it's not going to work.
31,000.
10 high.
Quick call by the Australian.
5.
Peter shows him the 2 5s. They're going to win the pot with it.
That's nicely done by the Australian. The holiday just keeps getting better and better for this man. Real estate guy. There's his lovely wife.
Yeah, wife Emma toasting the old man right now.
Blinds at 12 and 24,000. Action on Mohsen. What a player. Never champion yet on the WPT, but he's going to quickly fold his hand into Peter with an ace-4. Will make the raise. 60,000. Vasili's going to splash around with a 9-6.
And his opponent is priced in to see a flop. That's why I think when you have an ace and a baby in a small blind, with his stack, just move in with it. But
flop comes up king, queen, 3. No help to either player.
Peter checks, and now watch this. The pot's going to get taken away from him by the chip leader here.
31,000.
Yeah, just a small bet into a pot that's got 129,000 in it. Smart betting, smart playing by Vasily.
Now look at these two poker players. You see, they just reek of hangover right there. That's what I'm saying. They're good guys, though.
Oh, boy.
Right back on it. The Aussie this time in first position with the buttons, going to fold it. And now Vasily.
Raise.
He says raise, and he throws the 1 million plaque in the pot.
Call.
He set him all in, but Mohsen quickly called him with the ace-jack and has him dominated. Ace-jack versus king-jack. Great opportunity for Mohsen to double up here.
Yep, 2 quality hands in a 3-handed poker game. And we're going to see 5 cards for the possibility of Mohsen saying goodnight. But he's in front at this point.
Ace of spades in the bowl.
It's a 4, a 5, and a jack. Hitting the jack, both players.
Yeah, both players have top pair, but as you can see, Mohsen has him out-kicked.
Oh, the beautiful kicker. Going to the turn. It's another 4, pairing the board.
Now, if the 4 jack comes off, they would split this pot.
One more fun.
See, I like that. Vasily's not greedy. He's happy to split the pot. Most guys would call for a king, not Vasily.
Can he hit his king? No, it's an 8 of spades. Mohsen having to sweat it, but taking down that one once again.
So a much-needed double up for Mohsen Terrania right there. His hopes of winning a WPT title here in Paris still alive. 3 players left. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more exciting action from Paris right after this.
Why just watch the World Poker Tour on TV when you can get in the game for free? Go to clubwpt.com today and see how you can win an entry to a WPT tournament. Clubwpt.com, never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed. With season 12 now on the move, the race for Player of the Year is starting to gear up. Neck and neck in the lead with 1,200 points are newly crowned WPT champions Jordan Christos and Anthony Zeno. Dan Heimiller continues to keep in stride, trailing by only 50 points after a second-place finish at the Legends of Poker, followed by another deep run at the Borgata Poker Open. This season's race will likely prove to be more of a marathon than a sprint, and we'll be sure to keep you informed of any movement during each leg of the race. But for now, let's get back to the action here at the Aviation Club.
Well, there you see the chip counts. Vasily still well out in front, nearly 4.4 million in chips. And he has just had a nice walk in the park so far at this final table.
Okay, chip leader Vasily will quickly fold this hand. Now Mohsen with a 9-7 offsuit. We'll try to take this one down with a raise, makes it 50,000. But Peter the Aussie is going to call with a 10-9. So 10-9 versus 9-7. And we are flopping. It's a king, ace, 3.
No help to either player.
No one hitting. And Mohsen.
No, he was the pre-flop raiser. Going to make the continuation bet here.
Yeah, with a pretty scary board. He bets 48,000. Peter, of course, hitting none of that. But
He's going to raise here with no hand and no draw, just a play you don't expect out of an amateur player.
Wow, it makes it 126 to go, and it is going to work.
What a play by the Australian amateur right there. And his wife Emma smiles, but she has no idea how good a play that was.
Little thievery by the Aussie, and that is shocking. Winner's going to take home about $480,000 approximately in U.S. cash, a ton of euros, and get his name put on the WPT Champions Cup. What an honor. And Mohsen has been to the final table 3 times, never taken the title. He'd love to take this tonight, but he's got a lot of work in front of him. He quickly folds, and now Peter will raise this with a king 5, makes it $65,000.
And Vasily making the call in position with the jack 9.
Just hoping to catch something. Flop is a 3, 7, and a 6.
Well, Peter's flopped a gut shot straight draw. Vasily's flopped nothing.
And Peter, the real estate man from Australia, will bet this. $65,000 on the continuation bet.
Oh, and look at this. Vince, it's the float call. He's got no hand, no draw, but Vasily has made the call here with just a jack high. And now a 5 comes off, gives Peter 2 5s, but it's a scare card in that there's a possible straight on the board. And it goes check, check. Shock, Vasily didn't bet that.
And the river card is a 4. That's a straight for both players.
Well, both players have a 7 high straight.
But look at this. Peter quickly checks it.
Well, Vasily, just assuming he doesn't have an 8, going to put pressure on him.
Yeah,
That's $300,000.
Shrewd move.
Well, there you see the agony by Peter. It's a nice bet by Vasily. You know, he's catching cards, but he's making some great plays along the way, this being one of them. He made the float call on the flop with no hand and no draw, and now you see him just muscling his opponent out on the river here when they would have split the pot. Just well done by the man from Belarus.
Nice play.
Just can't stand the pressure, but a nice bet by Vasily there. Earn that pot, as we say.
Nice play.
Well, Peter Apostolu shaking his head. He's the real estate guy, and he looks like he just lost the house.
Well, Vance, he just got outplayed. Vasily running away with this thing right now.
В принципе, по такой же стратегии, пока я не увижу, что люди начали этому сопротивляться, я буду действовать как бы сейчас. То есть пока будет получаться поддавливать небольшими как бы ставками, и я буду именно так играть. Когда будет видно, если люди переключились, то будем смотреть по ситуации.
You're watching season 12 of the WPT. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
My name is Nicolas Fraioli. I'm the tournament director of the Aviation Club de France, and we always welcome the WPT in Paris. The players come to the aviation because it's a very small club. It's like a family club, and they meet players from different countries like Russian, American, Italian. We got many different kind of poker, open-face Chinese, PLO, Courchevel, and No Limit Order, of course. The Aviation Club de France offers a world-class poker, and it is located on the Champs-Élysées, which is the best avenue of the world.
The Aviation Club de France, just a phenomenal poker venue right smack dab in the middle of the most famous street, perhaps in the world, the Champs-Élysées.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's just gorgeous and different.
It has that James Bond ambience about it, you know?
It does, yeah.
And players just love it here. Check out the Aviation Club de France when you get to Paris.
So right there, the man from Belarus, Vasily Fursau, $4.5 million. He is controlling this final table, but he wants to stomp out these 2 other guys. Can he do it down the stretch?
Yeah, it's an Australian, an American, and a man from Belarus fighting it out for this title. Nobody from Belarus has ever won a WPT title, but Vasily in great shape to do just that.
Come on, Lee.
An action on Peter now. With King 6 of diamonds, he says all in. Got Vasily to fold and Mohsen, so...
Mohsen throws away the ace-3 suited.
Worked well for the real estate guy. So he will take that pot. As the Royal Flush girls talk about their hair, and such. They are fantastic.
Vasily picks up a monster hand. Ace-king suited on the button.
Yep, he makes it 55,000 to go. Mohsen folds. And now it's on Peter. Oh, man.
I'm all in.
He's got the queens, and he's going to push all in with it.
Well, the snap call by Vasily. This the classic race in poker, folks. The ace-king versus the two queens. The queens mathematically out front, a favorite to win the pot slightly. As you can see, 53% favorite. But his tournament life is on the line. Can Vasily outdraw him? We shall see.
5 cards to come. Everyone on their feet. Queens versus ace-king. It's a 5. It's another 5. And another 5. 3 5s on the flop.
If a fourth 5 came out there, Vasily would win, of course, with the ace kicker, but he is looking for an ace or a king.
No problem so far for the Australian Peter.
Now Peter just trying to hold his breath here to see if he can double up.
Here we go with the turn card. And it's fine. It's a 7 of hearts. Good for Peter.
1 card to go for Peter to double up. He can't even look.
Yep. Will the vacation continue for Peter?
Can't wait to see that.
He's smiling. They're not going to look.
King on the river. How good is the man from Belarus running? Tough luck for the Australian. Peter Apostolu is going to be out in 3rd place. Wow.
But he's going to take home 148,000 euros. Mr. Holiday has to say goodbye. Let's go see what he has to say.
No, mate, it was a blast. It was, it was like a dream come true. Obviously a little disappointing in the end, but you really have to take it all into stride, and it's just been an amazing adventure for me. Well, it's going to be hard to run over the chip leader, but Mohsen's he's a tough competitor. Like, he just doesn't let go. So if he wins a couple of flips, he'll be hard to beat, but he's got to win those flips.
Valiant effort by my fellow Aussie Peter Apostolu, who was out in 3rd place, thus concluding our 2nd hour of coverage at the Grand Prix de Paris. So, Mike and Vince, tell us your thoughts as we near the final stretch.
Well, Lynn, I'm seeing what everybody else is probably thinking, that it's been nothing but a one-man band show so far at this final table here in Paris. Vasily Firsau came to the final table as big chip leader. He's done nothing but extend that chip lead. I'm not sure Mohsen is going to be able to come back and take this title from him.
Well, you're right, Mike. He is a wrecking ball. He is destroying this table tonight. But usually on the World Poker Tour, no matter how easy it's going, there'll be some adversity. So we will see. Otherwise, they'll do like they do in France. Like a little French bird, poof, you're gone. Tough one.
Such a card you are, Vince. All right, please join us next time for the conclusion of the WPT Grand Prix de Paris. For Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, the Royal Flush Girls, and everyone at the World Poker Tour, I'm Lynn Gilmartin. See you next time on the WPT.
I don't understand what this is for. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
Tonight, only 2 players remain on the journey to becoming a World Poker Tour champion. The conclusion of the Grand Prix de Paris final table is happening now, tonight on the WPT.
Well, the crowd all standing. He is circling the ring. They are going bare knuckles in the center of the ring. He needs the extreme miracle. Oh!
I'm Lynn Gilmartin. Welcome to the World Poker Tour and the Aviation Club de France. We're about to kick off our 3rd hour of coverage at the Grand Prix de Paris with heads-up action. But before we do, let's check in with Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten to tell us where we stand.
Well, where we stand is Vasily not only has a chance to become the first guy from Belarus to ever win a WPT title, he could also be one of the very few guys that personally eliminate every player at the table on the way to taking down the championship.
Yeah, but Mike, he's still got one man to beat, and that is Mohsen Terrania, the 28-year-old from Chicago. And we said when this final table began that he was the one with the most experience in a high-pressure situation. And you know, Mohsen, he's not going down without a fight. That is for sure. Will he be Mr. Lucky and take home this title? We're going to see.
Well, gentlemen, I'm really looking forward to this heads-up battle. And right now, the Royal Flush girls are bringing out the Euros for Vasily and Mohsen. There's Sonia, Dalia and Tuba wishing both players good luck. It's an opportunity of a lifetime for these guys, and moments ago we grabbed a quick word with the two of them.
Я себя хорошо сейчас чувствую, большим лидером являюсь в хедзапе, но это все равно большая ответственность, потому что все равно короткий стек может всегда раскрутиться, и как бы всегда обидно проигрывать такой хедзап, когда ты играешь с большим чип-лидером. А как бы короткий, ему уже терять нечего, как бы, поэтому психологически он себя более комфортно чувствует.
I was wearing a shirt that says unfinished business on it. I'm going to need to wear one that says I have a lot of work to do. Down to 2, but I have a 7-1 chip deficit. It looks like when someone has that many chips, they're playing very absurdly aggressive, but it's more even keel. Maybe heads up, he's going to get more aggressive, but for now he's playing just very solid, so maybe I have to get a little aggressive and take advantage of it.
All right, here we go, the heads-up battle for the title of the Grand Prix de Paris Championship about to get underway.
Vasily with 4.8 million. Mohsen, 712,000. The antes are 3,000. The blinds are 12 and 24. Here we go, down the stretch.
Yeah, it's a monster chip lead playing heads up for a title, a 7-1 chip lead, but Mohsen was 5th in this event last year. He is playing heads up for the title this year. Now that alone is very impressive.
Mohsen with a king 9. You know, he just called, and Vasily says, let's see the flop. And the king, just like that, ace, 8. Vasily with just a 4-5. And Vasily has checked it. Mohsen betting his kings, 52,000. And that will do it. On hand number 1 of the heads-up battle, Mohsen Terrania taking down the first pot.
Well, there you see what they're playing for. The winner getting 340,000 euros.
It's about 480, Mike, in U.S. cash, approximately.
Runner-up 230,000 euros, but it's about the title with these guys.
Blinds are going up to 15 and 30 with an ante of 4. And look at this, Mohsen has got a real hand, pair of 10s.
Going to raise it to 70,000. Vasily with the 7-5 of clubs going to make the call. So we're going to see a flop.
Mohsen would like to get some value out of this. Flop is a 6-3-4. Oh my goodness, just the thing that Vasily wanted. He has flopped the straight. And he's going to check it.
Well, Vince, I don't see how Mohsen is going to help from getting broken this hand.
This could be the last one. Now he has bet at 38,000. Now Vasily, yep, he's just going to walk the dog. Just calling. Setting the trap. Turn card, an ace of clubs.
Well, that's a card that could possibly save Mohsen.
Vasily is going to check. And here goes Mohsen. He's betting 63,000 with the 10s.
And Vasily now going to raise it, hoping the ace hit his opponent, or he'd get his chips in there.
He's making it 176.
And a quick call by Mohsen. Well, Mohsen just not buying it. Thinks if an opponent had an ace in his hand, he would have raised him pre-flop. That didn't happen.
Down to the river we go. It's a 3 of clubs, pairing the board.
All-in.
Whoa.
Vasily now goes all in after the board pairs. There's a hand where Vasily raised on the flop. All the money would have been in there in the flop, I promise you. Now, is there a chance Mohsen can get away from this? Because the ace hit number 1, and number 2, he hadn't seen Vasily get out of line yet at this final table. Every time he's put a big bet out there, he's had the goods. Look at this laydown. That is a world-class getaway there, Vince.
Okay, Vasily Fursau, the chip leader. He's 36 years old, a father of 2, married. He's got 5 million up against Mohsen, who's got about 470.
Over a 10-1 chip lead for Vasily. The man from Belarus could become the first player ever from Belarus to win a WPT title, and right now, he is really in the driver's seat.
He's got Jack 9 right now. Let's see what he does with this. Yep, he's going to go up. 65,000 to go. Mohsen taking a look at a interesting 6-4 of clubs.
Got one of those hands you want to see a flop with. Can't really spare the 35,000, but calls anyway.
Yep, he's going to gamble. The flop is 4. That's good. 6, 2 pair, and a jack. Unbelievable. 2 pair versus jacks.
Well, the dream flop for Mohsen, he checks. Vasily bets 65,000 here.
Oh, and Mohsen is going to raise, of course, 200,000.
All in.
Call.
Vasily quickly goes all in, and a snap call by Mohsen, and here we go. Well, Mohsen in great shape to double up here.
Mohsen just doesn't want anything crazy to happen.
So the first step of the long comeback could be made right here by Mohsen.
Or it could be over. You play those slop hands, sometimes they backfire. We will see right now. The man from Belarus gets up, and here we go with a turn. It's a king of hearts. That's safe for Mohsen, still out in front.
Yeah, Mohsen just got to dodge a king, jack, or a 9 to double up here.
Young man from Chicago, Mohsen Terrania, in a good place right now. Wants to avoid disaster with the river card. Let's take a look. And he does as a deuce of clubs appears. He's going to win this pot.
Well, Mohsen starting to believe a little bit here now, saying, look, I've been due for some luck at a WPT final table. I've made 3 of them, haven't had any luck yet. It's my turn.
Yup, a nice double up. On to the next hand. Mohsen this time with the Motown hand, Jackson 5s.
And here you go, a little pep in his step here after winning that last pot. Raising here with a Jack 5 offsuit. A little steam by Vasily here, it looks like. He is going to re-raise with just a Queen 9 offsuit.
Makes it 163,000. Going to put too much pressure on Mohsen. And the man from Belarus will take this one down.
Now, you don't know if that was a good read or just a good steam re-raise, but whatever, it worked.
Vasily has played only 2 WPT events. This is his second cash, first final table, and this time he's got a 9-4. He is raised, and Mohsen with a Queen 10 just calling. Lots of cat and mouse play going on down the stretch here. Here's the flop. It's King 10 Jack.
Well, Mohsen's got a pretty good hand. Bottom pair with an open-end straight draw. Vasily makes a continuation bet, of which Mohsen calls. So we're going to the turn here. And 8 of hearts comes off. Neither player has a heart in their hand. Mohsen checks.
And Vasily will also check. To the river we go. It's a Queen of Hearts.
Now there's 4 hearts on the board and an open-end straight.
Vasily has that. He has a little straight.
He is betting the sucker into the straight here, Vince. 75,000. Only way he's going to get called is if he's beat, in my opinion. Mohsen lays down 2 pair. Good laydown it was.
We have seen some epic battles on the WPT, and one took place here in Season 3. It is Tony G, the Australian airbag, versus Surrender Sooner.
I can see your eyes as well.
Tony trying to get in his face.
You gotta get darker glass.
You talk about the poker bully.
Look, I'm gonna find a big hand.
A nice flop for Surrender. He's flopped top pair here.
I checked blind. I just looked in your eyes, man.
36.
I raise.
Oh, he's gonna get daring here.
Wow. Folks, he's raising with absolutely nothing.
Another 104,000.
Well, the turn card is a 5.
201.
He's gonna do it. 201,000.
You gotta like it. It's a nice bet.
But he makes the call. Well, the river card is the 4 of hearts.
I'm all in.
Oh, but he goes all in.
Gotta love this.
Unbelievable.
Incredible gambling, Mike.
Can he make this call for 651,000?
It's good.
He lays it down.
I got a 4 on the river, but I had the heart and the commitment to this game to win the spot. If you have anything, just call. Close your eyes and hope I don't hit.
Well, I tell you something. That man is like the crazy uncle you like to avoid, but you just can't. Always in your face. But what an entertaining player. Tony G at his best.
What an exciting final that was, I might add. I don't think we've ever seen more emotion at a final table than that one.
Now look at this hand. Mohsen has picked up the ladies. He is raised.
All in.
Call.
And an all-in and a quick call.
Unbelievable here. Vasily winces. The first time he's made a big move without a real hand here. It could bite him right in the butt.
Человек играет от двух пар.
Пора снизу и закончить.
A big moment here at the Aviation Club.
Ace, king, jack. No, ace, king, queen, okay. Ace, king, queen, diamond.
Everyone's jolly before the flop because you just don't know what's going to happen after the next 5 cards. There's the burn. It's a king,
Oh, God.
a 9, and a 5.
And queen.
And Vasily looking for a queen, of course.
Queen.
5.
Mohsen looking for the board to pair, where no matter what would come off then, he would win this pot.
Queen's out in front still. Mohsen hanging in there. The turn is an ace of diamonds.
So Mohsen just has to dodge a queen on the river to double up yet again.
Один раз. Дама. Дама.
Can he make this work? Yes, he does. As a deuce of diamonds comes off.
So Mohsen, the dream stays alive, doubles up yet again to considerably close the gap in chip count.
The ladies are lucky for Mohsen as he doubles up yet again through Vasily. We've got plenty more action to come, plus Tony Dunst will give us the raw deal, and we'll take a quick trip with the Royal Flush Girls to a local patisserie to make a colourful Parisian treat.
No, dear. What is that? Hello, I am Dalia. I am with Sonia.
We're the European Royal Flush Girls and we're here in Paris for the WPT Paris. And what better way to start our day than make some macaroons here at a seed. So Jonathan's been in the kitchen all day preparing the macaroons for us. So we got the shells here, we got the filling, now we need to know how to put them together. Oh, I said that. Look, I'm under pressure. It's really good. And the camera comes.
Macaron acide.
Okay, so the filling's in. Look at
No, dear.
What is that? Do is put the top on.
Parfait.
Are these good enough to sell in your shop?
Yes.
Yes,
Of course.
look at that.
Of course.
Had an amazing time making some macaroons. Got some to take home.
Let's go and have fun with them in Paris. See you later.
And Vince, don't let the Royal Flush Girls around me with that candy.
Having a great time all week long here in Paris. The heads-up battle continues, Mike, and the Andes are going up to 20,040. Mohsen with a nice comeback, and now it's on him. He's got a 9-3, and he's going to raise.
He started this heads-up battle as a 7-1 chip dog. Now he's just a 4-1 chip dog.
Vasily with ace-6, but not going to raise.
I was shocked he wouldn't raise here with ace-high, Vince.
Very curious. We're going to the flop. It's a deuce, 4, and a 6. 6 is for Vasily, top pair. Nothing hitting for Mohsen.
And it goes check, check. Mohsen with a gut shot straight draw. Now an ace comes off, so the top 2 pair now for Vasily.
He checks again.
Now just a wise check. He's going to induce a bit out of Mohsen, and look what's happened. Boom, 65,000. It's going to be hammer time now.
Vasily's got him where he wants him, and of course he is going to raise.
And Mohsen now saying, why didn't I check? I could have hit the gut shot.
I'm pretty street smart. I'm from Chicago. I get it. I'm out. That's all it takes.
Vince, I know you always love having fun at the poker table. You know, you're the guy that's always talking it up, hamming it up. You know, you're just such a social butterfly.
That's me, a little social butterfly. But what is the point of playing poker if it can't be social? It's a social game. It's a lot of fun.
Well, Vince, the game has changed at Club WPT. We've just given the site a whole new look with improved social networking features where you can chat with everyone at the table, and you can even buy everyone a round of virtual drinks, just what you like to do.
I do. I love that. That's great.
Folks, listen, if you like to have a good time at playing poker in a fun environment, then check out clubwpt.com today. It's easy to sign up, and trust me, you'll have a great time.
Back to the felt we go. And here we go. It's going to be on Mohsen again.
90.
And he's going to raise again. Relentless with an 8-3 of diamonds. Makes it 90,000 to go. Vasily.
Call.
Must call with a little suited connector.
I just can't shake this guy right now.
So 8-3 versus 5-4. And the flop will be a 10, a 5, and another 10.
So nice flop for Vasily. He's out in front now with 2 pair.
And he has checked it. And Mohsen's going to bet 65,000. And Vasily's going to make this call.
Snap call.
Going to the turn. Oh, just another 5.
Little full house for Vasily, that's all.
Vasily going to check again. Mohsen's going to check again. He's getting the picture. Enough's enough. He's thinking 4 hits on the river does not help Mohsen. But Vasily will bet. He wants to get a little value out of his full boat. It's 130, and Mohsen goes away. So you play those junk hands like Gus Hansen. Sometimes it pays off. It did right there for Vasily.
We're pretty close to where we started in terms of chip count. Vasily with just over a 7-1 chip lead.
And the antes will stay at 5,000. The blinds will be 25 and 50 now. So onward we go. Mohsen.
All in.
She says all in.
Call.
And a quick call with the ace-6.
Well, this could do it, folks. Mohsen up against it right now. As the cards lie, Vasily a 3-2 favorite to win the pot and take down this title.
Got a job. Hello, Renee.
Don't worry, buddy. Queen of clubs.
I was hoping not to see it until the end of it all, but we're gonna need another one, Garcia.
Такая девушка грустная, понимаешь, сейчас закончится турнир.
Well, there you see Vasily's comrades, Igor, Oleg, and Vadim.
All from Mississippi.
Ace right in the door.
A 3 and a 10, so a beautiful flop for Vasily.
7, diamond. 7 diamond.
Mohsen has to catch 2 runners to win this pot. 2 running cards to make a straight, 2 runners to make a flush, 2 running fours, 2 running queens, but he needs a lot of help. He just wants to sweat right now, Vince. Just give him 1 card he can hope for. A deuce, there it was, he got it. He can now win if a 5 comes off. Nothing else will do for him.
Only a 5. The man from Belarus, 1 card away from a major championship.
Sweet King.
Can it be? Here we go to the river.
Wow! 2 runners to make a straight. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. The dream lives on for Mohsen as he makes a complete suck out, hits 2 runners to make a straight. The man from Belarus in shock at the moment.
What the heck was that? Almost impossible. But he's done it.
Wait, you guys didn't think it was coming?
It's not over. Stay with us. We're coming back with more action on the World Poker Tour as this continues. Oh, sickening. You gotta be kidding.
Good for TV?
Yeah, you know.
Come on.
Season 12 of the World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com, where VIP members can win their share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month. ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
We are heads up at the Aviation Club de France, and in addition to all the money, there are 1,000 WPT Player of the Year points waiting at the finish line for tonight's winner. Last year's Grand Prix de Prix champion and reigning Player of the Year, Matt Salzberg, proved that all earned points are valuable and that it takes more than a single victory to cross the finish line. With Season 12 just getting out of the starting gates, the Player of the Year race is wide open, and both Mohsen and Vasily will be making their presence known on the leaderboard. As always, we'll keep you updated on the status all season long, but for now, let's get back to the action with Mike and Vince.
The heads-up battle continues here in Paris.
Well, as you can see, Vasily now only has a 2-1 chip lead over Mohsen, as opposed to a 7-1 chip lead when we started this heads-up battle.
Let's go back down to the table of fate. Vasily Fursau. He's got a huge hand. Ace King of Hearts.
Oh, boy, would he love to get it all in before the flop with this hand. He raises here. Mohsen just calls with the Queen 10, so we're going to have a flop.
Ace King versus Queen 10. And the flop is a 9, Jack, 8. That is a straight for Mohsen.
Incredible flop for Mohsen here.
And they both check. 3 of spades on the turn. Mohsen's coming out with a bet, 85,000.
Well, Vasily thinks he's going to bet anything here after he checked the flop, so he's going to call him with ace high, thinking it might be best hand. Obviously, he's drawing dead here.
Mohsen's getting some valued river card pairs. The board with a jack.
Mohsen recognizes this guy called him on the turn. Good chance he'll call him on the river if he bets. 235,000.
And a quick call.
Anytime.
Mohsen quickly turns up the straight, and the man from Minsk stretches his neck. Says, wow, you flopped that? I misread you that bad?
Well, things are starting to shape up for Mohsen.
Last year, I feel like I got a little unlucky, even though the final table was really stacked. Had the chip lead for maybe a couple hands, and then just everything fell apart.
And Vince, the guy just had no luck in all-in situations.
I think this year I have a much better chance because I'm the most experienced player at the table, and I think that's where I'll have a huge edge. This is my third WPT final table, and hopefully the third time's the charm.
The third time could be the charm, that's for sure, the way Mohsen's running right now.
And the blinds are going up to 30 and 60,000. And he stays at 5,000. Here we go. Vasily, father of two, has a 6-3. Will raise to 130,000.
Yeah, Mohsen's going to make the call with the 7-5 of hearts.
Flop is a 3-4 and a 9. So threes there for Vasily.
Yep, he's out in front with the threes. As you can see, Mohsen with the gut shot straight draw.
Yeah, he makes a continuation bet, 95,000. Vasily's going to quickly call.
So we're going to the turn here. And a 5 comes off. Mohsen now has the best hand. He's going to check. You can't blame Vasily for betting. He's got a pair and an open and straight draw.
Yeah, he bets 155,000, and Mohsen will make this call. Down to the river we go. Let's take a peek.
A 6 comes off.
Whoa, boy.
The dream card for Mohsen, he's made a straight. And Vince, what I love is he's going to lead out and bet. He's not going to give his opponent a chance to check behind him. He's going to make him guess as to whether he's got the straight or not. And there you have it, 420,000. Vasily, who's got two pairs in a tough spot. He's going to make the call and not going to like it.
Oh, wow, he is starting to swear in Russian. You can just tell.
And Vince, with that pot, we have a new chip leader in this heads-up battle.
And that is the 28-year-old from Chicago, a man that has made 3 final tables on the WPT, has never become champion. It is Mohsen Terrania out in front with 3.4 million.
Well, Vasily was shaking his head that last hand because he knows a 6 is the only card that could come off that could cost him money on the river, where he made 2 pair and his opponent made a straight.
Okay, on to this hand. Mohsen with the 6-4 of hearts, and he's called. And Vasily has an attractive Jack-10 of clubs. He's raised to 165. Mohsen's going to stick around. Anything can happen on the flop.
Well, there you see the Eiffel Tower of chips by Mohsen.
Flop is a 7-6-7. Mohsen with 6s. And Vasily, catching none of that, is going to bet. Nevertheless, 110.
Yeah, Mohsen's got another tower of chips on the side there, but Paris, as you know, you can only have 6-story buildings.
Mohsen calls. Turn card is a big king of spades. Helps neither player. And Vasily.
Well, Vince, he's got his nose open a little bit now. No doubt about that. He bet with nothing on the flop, got called, and here he goes. Firing huge on the turn here.
Yes, 220,000 with zip and pip, and it's going to work.
Well, Mohsen lays down the best hand, Vince, but he's got the chip lead after battling so hard. Just doesn't want to jeopardize it with a marginal hand like that. Just gives up the pot, keeps the chip lead.
It was a really nice lunch.
Yeah, it was. I'll try.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We're on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. Heads-up action continues. A complete turnaround. Just devastating for our man from Belarus.
Looking at the WPT stack tracker, Vasily Firsau started this final table as the big chip leader and continued to build upon it by eliminating all 4 of the missing players from this table. But now you see the tides have turned.
Mohsen has been waiting in the wings, just staying alive. And once heads up began, with a lot of skill and a little luck, he found a way to overcome a 7-1 chip deficit. And now he is the chip leader with nearly 60% of the chips in play. Let's get back down to the table where the action is on Mohsen.
Well, what a turnaround we've seen in this heads-up battle. Mohsen on the button here with the 7-4. He's going to raise it. Makes it 130,000 to go. And a quick call by Vasily with a 10-9.
And the flop is an ace-5 and a 10. Vasily has hit his 10s.
He checks the 10s, and here comes the continuation bet by Mohsen. 95,000. And a quick call by Vasily.
Turn card is a king of diamonds, helps neither player.
So possible straight out there. Vasily checks. Mohsen, no hand, no draw, no card he can catch to win the pot, but he is reaching for chips. And a healthy amount of chips, 215,000. But look at this, Vince. 2 overcards and a possible straight out there, yet he is called 215,000 on third pair.
Like he knows it's good. Pretty incredible. They're going down to the last card. And a 7, so Mohsen hits 7s right there.
Well, Vasily checks again, and look at this. Vince, it's just like Mohsen knows the guy's got 2 10s, or might have hit a pair of kings on the turn, but thinking maybe a big bet will get him off of that hand.
He is going to make a big bet, a half a million.
And Vasily throws the hand away. Vince, he fired 3 shells at that pot. He bet on the flop, the turn in the river, without the best hand, bluffing all the way.
Mohsen, very experienced, 3rd time at a WPT final table. He's also made 3 World Series of Poker final tables, never took home a bracelet.
Well, Vince, he won the EPT Grand Final in Monte Carlo for $1.8 million. That's the biggest event on the European Tour. And obviously, he would like to win a WPT title here tonight.
Though, Mike, now there is a quick break in the action here in Paris. And you know the WPT has been busy since our last televised stop at the Borgata Poker Open with both regional and national events around the globe.
Well, that's right, Vince. The WPT held a regional tournament at the Atlantis Casino Resort Spa in Reno, Nevada, where WPT champion and Reno local Steve Brecker took down the title and the $58,000 first place prize to go with it.
There's also been a number of WPT national events as well. We have one at the Casino de Marrakech in Morocco, Casino Barcelona in Spain, Casino Campione in Italy, and at the first WPT National UK Tournament at the Aspers Westfield in London, England. Fund manager John Von Trey won over £20,000.
Oh, it's great to see so many people winning on the World Poker Tour. And if you would like to join us, log on to WPT.com for a complete tournament schedule. But for now, let's get back to the action here at the Aviation Club de France.
Mohsen is 3.5 million. Vasily's 2 million.
Well, I am just wowed by that last hand. Wowed, Mohsen fired 3 shells, and just as wowed that Vasily suspected something was up and called him on the turn. And if Mohsen doesn't bet that river, we're praising Vasily for how great he played that hand. Wow.
All right, action back on Mohsen. King 4 of spades, just calling this time. Gonna change gears here.
Well, Vasily happy to get a flop here with the 4-3.
The flop is a deuce 4 and a queen. So Vasily slopping around, hits 4s, but also Mohsen hits 4s.
Checks right behind him there. Now a 7 comes off, so 3 clubs out there, but Vasily's got to think the 2 4s are the best hand after his opponent checked on the flop. So he's going to bet the turn with 4s and a flush draw. But Mohsen calls him with just 2 4s.
River card is a deuce. That doesn't change anything.
Well, Vasili's making what he thinks is a value bet here. He's not bluffing. He believes his 4s are the best hand. He's about to get a rude awakening, though, because Mohsen's going to call him. He proudly turns up the 2 4s, but they're no good, as he's out-kicked. He can't believe it, Vince.
No.
The way things have turned around this heads-up battle. Right now, Vasily just marching with 2 left feet.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back to hear what Tony Dunst has to say in the Raw Deal.
There are 100,000 reasons to love ClubWPT.com, because as a Club WPT VIP, you get the chance to win a share of $100,000 in cash and prizes every month.
ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker, guaranteed.
Right now it's time to take a closer look at tonight's play, so let's check in with Tony Dunst and the Raw Deal.
Most of the time we're running a bluff in poker. We're really running a semi-bluff, which is bluffing when we still have outs to make the best hand. Of course, on the river, we're just bluffing or betting for value. And when we're bluffing, there's no more chances at making the best hand. It's smart to have outs when you seize the opportunity to bluff, but are there still situations where we should fire into pots despite having 0 equity in the hand? As in none? 0? Like the dealer could burn and turn another 9 cards and you still wouldn't have outs? Let's just break it down. Through the course of this final table, both Vasily Fursau and Mohsen Terrania have shown themselves to be capable players. Now they find themselves heads up, and for the first time at the final table, Vasily is without the chip lead. During the hand, Vasily raises Jack-10 suited and Mohsen calls 6-4 in the big. The flop comes 7-6-7, and Mohsen calls a small bet with his pair. When the turn brings a king, Vasily fires a second barrel and Mohsen makes a tough fold. Although Vasily was unlikely to make the best hand, his bet would fold out many ace-highs and small pairs. But Mohsen knows about bluffing with no equity too. We saw him raise the button with 7-4 and get called by Vasily in the big blind with 9-10. The ace-5-10 flop totally misses Mohsen, but he follows through with a standard small continuation bet. Vasily calls the bet, and just like the previous hand, the turn brings a king. Knowing he can't win at showdown, Mohsen fires again, hoping to fold out a 5 or a 10. Vasily calls again, and the 7 on the river gives Mohsen 4th pair. But he still doesn't believe his hand can win at showdown, so he fires a 3rd barrel for a $500,000. I think this bet is designed to make Vasily fold a 10, a king, and an ace if he's really feeling like a hero. Fortunately for Mohsen, his opponent had the weakest of those holdings and quickly gives up the hand. Don't misunderstand me here. I don't want to promote the idea that you should just be firing away mindlessly without the slightest concern about having outs. Generally, playing good poker means investing chips when you have plenty of equity in the hand. But there are still situations where betting without a chance of winning is clearly the best play.
All right, great points by Tony Dunst. And now, Mohsen Terrania, so close to becoming the champion, getting his name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup.
Well, right now he's got a 2-1 chip lead over his opponent. Action's going to be on Vasily, but look at this, Vince. Mohsen is raising out of turn in the big blind here.
Oops. Does it stay?
That is shocking. A rookie mistake here happening before our very eyes. It's been determined that the money has to stay in. Vasily, hearing that, says, nit, I'm going to raise this.
What's the rule if the action changes?
Mohsen calling the tournament director over.
Action changed before.
Yeah, money stays.
But the action changed before it's on me.
Well, now he's questioning the ruling here.
That's the rule we use.
That's not a rule anywhere else besides here.
And the ruling, as you can hear, is going to be that the money has to stay in the pot by Mohsen.
That's stupid.
Well, he's disgruntled, that's for sure. And Mohsen is going to fold the hand in frustration. And the man from Belarus will take this one down.
Well, it looks like he's put his sword in the sand here, Vince, and said, I can't take it anymore.
No.
Sometimes it goes like that.
Boom.
You just can't take it anymore. Mohsen came back from a chip stack far, far, far.
It's impossible
shorter
to come
than this
back and
one.
win. I'm saying it right now. It's impossible for Vasily to win this. You can't win after these type of suckouts. You just cannot. You're not supposed to win. It is over. I'm sorry.
It may just be bumps in the road along the way to the title.
Come on. Craters talking about, boom, it's a wrap, my opinion.
And I say it's not over yet.
Okay.
Find out who is going to take the title when we return to the Grand Prix de Paris right here on the World Poker Tour.
This episode of the World Poker Tour is brought to you in part by DraftKings. If you like poker and sports, then you gotta love daily fantasy sports at DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com, enter promo code WPT, and start playing today.
Welcome back to Paris and the World Poker Tour. We have a great heads-up battle taking place, so let's get down to the felt with Mike and Vince for the call of the game.
All right, the heads-up battle continues, and the kid from Chicago, Mohsen Terrania, he's saying this is my kind of town because he's now the chip leader with 3.6 million in chips.
And at one point in this heads-up battle, he was over a 10-to-1 chip dog. Now he's a 2-to-1 chip favorite.
He's got the button. Blinds at 30 and 60,000. Mohsen on a nice rush right now, and he's going to pop this to 130 to go.
And Vasily has the 10-9, and looks like he's going to make the call.
There was no adversity for so long for Vasily, and now he's got it all. And the flop comes up a 3-3-5, no help to either player, and Vasily will check it. And even though Mohsen gets none of that, he is going to bet it.
But look at the bet size of Mohsen, Ben. So he's only betting about 25% of the pot, and yet he's winning it.
And look at this, Mike. Vasily has to give up the $1 million plaque here in Paris. He hands it over. He's saying, I'll take back a little change. And right now, Mohsen holding the bully chip.
And that's when there's $1 million plaque, and you've got it in a heads-up battle. That's a good sign.
Okay, now the antes are 10,000, and the blinds are going up to 40 and 80,000. Action on Vasily.
Yeah, he looks down at a Jack-10. He's going to raise it, makes it 165,000 to go.
Yeah, and Mohsen is going to quickly fold, saying, you can take this pot. You look like you need it. Action on Mohsen. He's got a real hand this time. He's got the pair of 10s.
Going to raise it to 165,000.
Vasily with a big hand as well.
Call.
All in and called. This is the showdown they've both been looking for.
The two overcards versus the underpair. Mohsen know if the 10 stand up, he'll be a WPT champion. If not, he'll have to claw his way from behind once again. Now Vasily's got to be saying, you know, I've been so unlucky in this heads-up battle. Surely one time I can get some luck on my side and win a race.
Mohsen Terrania at one time at the final table was on the short stack with less than 200,000. Hit his whole turned around. He's got a title right before his very eyes. Here's the flop. It's a 7-3-7. No help for Vasily.
Great flop so far for Mohsen. He's still out in front with the two 10s. Only has to dodge an ace or a queen now.
Oh boy, he cannot even bear to watch. Closing his eyes as the turns come. It's an 8 of clubs. That's good for Mohsen.
Now we're down to the river.
Да, Вадим, ты определись, туза или дама?
Vasily must catch an ace or a queen to stay alive.
Oh, Mohsen one card away from getting his name on the WPT Champions Cup and all the money that goes with it. Let's go to the river in Paris. It's a deuce of clubs. Mohsen is our champion.
One of the biggest comebacks in the history of the tour. Mohsen Terrania from Chicago is the champion of the Grand Prix de Paris.
Oh, man, the crowd is going crazy here. All the friends embracing. Mohsen has done it.
Well, Vance, let's say a word about Vasily. Fierce out right there. The guy took a heartbreak loss when it came runner-runner, but what a tournament that Vasily played. Just very unlucky not to win it.
Я доволен своей игрой. В принципе, практически считаю, что сыграл на очень хорошем уровне. Просто не повезло где-то в постфлопе, где-то в алынах префлоп. То есть я ни одного алына префлоп вообще на все фишки я не выиграл. То есть естественно, зная, где упадешь, можно было бы что-то поменять, но именно конкретно игрой своей доволен.
Congratulations to the champion of the Grand Prix de Paris, Mohsen Terrania. Mohsen, did you think destiny was on your side when you hit runner, runner straight? From there, the match completely turned around.
Yeah, when I hit runner, runner straight, a little bit of destiny was probably on my side. And then when I flopped a flush every hand, it helped a lot too.
Well, in addition to your 340,000 euros, you also get your name inscribed on the WPT Champions Cup and entry into the WPT World Championship at the end of the season. And I know how thrilled you are to have your first WPT title. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Lynn, back to you.
What a remarkable comeback by Mohsen Terrania, our Season 12 WPT Grand Prix de Paris champion. For Mike Sexton, Vince Van Patten, Tony Dunst, the Royal Flush Girls, and everyone at the World Poker Tour, I'm Lynn Gilmartin. See you next time on the WPT.
I don't understand what this is for. The World Poker Tour is brought to you by ClubWPT.com. Never lose a dime playing poker. Guaranteed.
In the City of Angels, the deck is stacked with 6 queens of poker. Ladies' Night is back tonight on the WPT.
Well, the crowd theory at Duke and graduated in 2.5